Now, is it important to listen? You know, we feel like we're good listeners. When you come into my office and you meet with me, my main objective is to sit down and find out about you, find out about your situation so we can determine if we can help you. And so we feel like we're pretty good listeners. I have to be. Now, this sheet right here, you all have this sheet, right? Now, if you haven't done so already, we'd appreciate it if you filled that top portion. The middle section is kind of for you as we go along, okay? It's got different things on there. You know, you all came to this meeting here for different purposes. Some of you came with specific needs and wants, or you know, things that you wanted to find out, or things that you're worried about or concerned about. If they're listed on the sheet, go ahead and mark the sheet. Others of you maybe came just to kind of see what's going on, right? Well, as we go along, if something pops out in your mind, go ahead and mark the box, or go ahead and write it in the other section, okay? Because this will really help us to know what your situation is. Rough spots. We talked about a few rough spots a few years ago. What are some of the things that are going on right now that are causing concern out there? I know you all read the paper, right? You all watch the news. You all have CNBC on all day, right? Yeah. So you kind of know what's going on. You might even know more than I know. Because I try not to watch the news too much. Try and keep informed. I read my daily newspaper, but I don't over-consume myself with it. Yeah, the economy. I mean, you've got the stock market dropping, right? That's a big concern. Market went from 14,000 last year, or 2007 is when it peaked out and it started falling, and now we're sitting at 8,000, but it got down to as low as 6,500. So that's definitely a concern. That's a rough spot. What's causing that? Mortgages, exactly. The mortgage meltdown is kind of what triggered this whole thing. The housing crisis is what they're calling this. So that's a problem too, right? We're seeing people foreclose on their homes in a record number. We're seeing people lose their jobs. We're seeing a lot of different things that are going on in our economy that have triggered this downturn. And so our goal is to kind of get you through the rough spots, because are we always going to have rough spots? You all have been around a lot longer than I have, right? I'm turning 40 in about a week. Okay? Now I know you're all, well, it looks like most of you are older than that. Okay? So you've seen a lot of rough spots. What are some things that have happened in your life that have maybe concerned you? Wars, natural disasters, hurricanes. Yeah, that's a good one. There's all sorts of stuff out there that have been going on. You've probably lived through a couple of wars. Maybe some of you were around in World War II. I see a couple of faces that maybe that could be the case in. No offense. But we've got a lot of things that have gone on. Economic crises. I remember in '87, I graduated from high school in 1987. And what I remember vividly in my mind is, and I wasn't really into the markets, I wasn't into this stuff at that point, but I remember in October of 1987, a senior in high school, I remember hearing on the news about the stock market crash in '87. Y'all remember that? They called it Black Monday? Yeah. That was a big time, kind of a bad time in our market. Did things recover since then? Yeah, they did. They did, absolutely. We had some good years after '87. And I'm not here to tell you what the market's going to do, because nobody knows. But I'm here to tell you that you need to plan. I'd like to tell my clients what we're trying to do is plan for the worst case and hope for the best case. So we need to plan that the worst thing's going to happen. The market's going to continue to go down. But we hope that it goes up. And what we have is vehicles and different things that'll help us win in every situation. That's the goal. Okay? Now, 5 challenges for retirees. Will you outlive your retirement income? Will your retirement money keep pace with inflation? Long-term care, will there be anything left with your loved ones? And will taxes on your Social Security erode your income? We're going to hit each one of these things, and we're going to try and do that in the next 40 minutes or so. Okay, my goal is to be out of here in an hour, and so we've been going for a little bit. So let's talk about the first one, taxes. Y'all paying taxes? Yes? Yeah, it's a big issue. I used to think that once you're retired, you just don't pay taxes anymore. Is that how it works? No? Okay. Yeah, most of my clients pay some taxes. Not all of you, but most of you. So, how do we reduce taxes on our Social Security income? Well, let's talk about this. 3 tax returns. I'm going to go through 3 returns. Okay? And we're going to base this on some hypothetical assumptions. The first one is this is a married couple. The important things here, if you can see here, effective tax rate of 13.3%. They had $400,000 in their account generating 5% interest. Now this was an actual couple that came into my office, and this is what I found on their return. Okay, their assumed interest rate is 5%, as I just stated. So if you look here at their return, this is what I found when they came to my office. Okay, they have their money in the CDs in the bank earning 5%. This is a few years ago. That interest was earning $20,000. So they're paying tax. You all know that if you have CDs, you pay taxes on those CDs, right? Whether you're spending the income or not, right? That's how it works. $20,000 of income, $20,000 in Social Security, pension of $30,000, $70,000 of income. Now the interesting thing with this particular couple is they weren't spending the $20,000 that they were generating on their CD. They were just rolling that over every year. But they were still paying taxes on it. Okay? They came down here, they ended up paying $5,830 in federal tax at the end of the day. At the end of the year, yes. But you know, it was okay. Now there was a couple of ideas that we came up with for this particular couple. I'm going to stop there. We're going to skip ahead. Sorry. That's a figure of speech at the end of the day. What?
Yeah. I realize that. I'll zip my lips.
I'll just skip it. You can cut it out right before I mess up there. I think maybe what I'll do is... Okay, one way to potentially reduce taxes on our Social Security income is through an annuity. Now, does anybody know what an annuity is? Anybody out here own one? Okay, now I'm not saying annuities are the end-all, be-all of all investments, but for certain people, especially for older people that are trying to preserve what they've got and get a good solid rate of return and get some tax benefits, annuities can be a great option. Now, a couple of different types of annuities: variable annuities, fixed annuities, indexed annuities. Now, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail in all of these, but I will tell you, you need to be careful because there are some good annuities out there and there's some extremely bad annuities out there. What are the main things that you see with annuities that are good? Guarantees, very good. A solid rate of return in a lot of these, good. Some stock market exposure, yes. In some annuities, variable annuities, you have that. There's a lot of issues that could be good. Some of the bad things that you've heard about annuities. Yeah, you might have to stay in them for a while. Yeah, there's some annuities out there that, and these are the bad ones, by the way, that, require that you keep your money in for like 10 or 15 years. And I would say stay away from those. Most of the ones we offer are in the 3, 4, 5 year range, okay? So there's some things that people don't like about annuities, but I like to say that annuities, for the right situation, if you're trying to save money on taxes, and if you're also trying to get some sort of guarantee, it works very well in annuity, okay? I'm telling you what, my people that have been in annuities over this past year, since this market meltdown, have been extremely pleased, extremely happy. They've come into my office and we've talked and I've said, you know what, you don't need to worry about what's going on because you've got certain guarantees lined up. You didn't lose 50% of your money. You didn't lose 60% of your money. You're okay because of the fact this annuity is protecting you. Now, I like to say that annuities, they're like private retirement accounts. There's no limit on what you can put in. You can put as much in as you want into an annuity. It's not like a 401k or an IRA where there's a limit. Okay? Annuities also avoid the probate process. Anybody been through a probate? Okay, a couple of you. Sometimes probate is not a fun thing, and it's not fun to have to wade through the whole mess that the courts put you through. So I say if you can avoid the probate process, that's a good thing. So if you've got annuities, come on and talk to us, and we'll be sure and get you through the process of probate and avoiding the different things that can happen